YouTube. Wanted to go over a video, and this is again another shotgun myth. And this is the myth and the debate of birdshot versus buckshot for personal defense. And the myth that birdshot is a better personal defense round. And that in some cases, you want to use birdshot because you don't want to use buckshot for, and I'll give you a variety of reasons that the theories are. And it was a good one that I heard yesterday, and one of the reasons I'm doing this is I heard, well, if again, the difference between birdshot and buckshot. Double-aught buckshot, in this case, 9 pellets, 33 caliber in diameter. These are number 4 birdshot. This is a turkey load. In a larger game load, good on coyotes, things like that. And these little guys rolling around here that's your game load. These, I believe, if I recall, are number 8s. These are for your smaller things like squirrels and, grouse, things like that. But that's birdshot. This is not number 4 buckshot. This is number 4 birdshot. It's these things here. Now, one of the things I heard yesterday when it came to this debate was somebody said, well, if I shoot you in the face with a load of birdshot, you're going to stop. Well, yeah. I could smack you in the face with a frying pan. You're going to stop. That doesn't mean it's probably the greatest thing for personal defense. But it's that mentality out there that, well, birdshot's just as good because it doesn't overpenetrate. Really? I've got news for you. Go out sometime and test drywall and shoot a hole. Shoot drywall at like 5 or 10 yards. And watch how fast birdshot goes through it. Birdshot will go right through drywall. I've seen it done. I can tell you right now it'll do it. And you see the same with buckshot. Buckshot, of course, will go through drywall, and it's designed for nowadays personal defense. A lot of your states don't allow buckshot for hunting anymore. But the biggest problem you see with birdshot being recommended, and I think the biggest reason why birdshot is recommended is for people who don't want to deal with the recoil of buckshot. There's this fear of, oh my goodness, it's going to hurt. Buckshot's not that bad. Yeah, it kicks a bit more than birdshot, but I think that's one of the reasons. Another reason I heard, and I actually heard this from someone who was a learned firearms instructor, was that if birdshot will group tighter than buckshot will. I've never seen that. I can tell you right now, after a certain distance, like 10 or 15 yards, birdshot tends to spread out a lot more. And the other problem you have to deal with, and this again comes to the point of maybe a secondary person or collateral damage, is that there are 9 average 2 3/4 inch buckshot, 8 to 9 pellets, 12 for the bigger ones if you're talking double-aught buckshot. Now in a load of birdshot, like these little guys here, there's hundreds of them. Same here. There's a lot of these depending on what pellet, what size gauge and what size shell, 2 3/4 inch, 3 inch you're using. There's a lot of these, hundreds in this case. Okay? That's a lot more to worry about. That's a lot more to worry about collateral damage. Now, the other thing is, as far as performance goes, again, these are number 4s. These are really, really highly used by turkey hunters, and they use them in 3 inch and 3.5 inch turkey loads. Now, ask any turkey hunter why he aims for the head and the neck of the bird, and they'll simply tell you they will not penetrate the chest and the feather area, where the feathers are, and the breast of a turkey. Now, you have to ask yourself that. If these pellets, lots of them, won't penetrate into the vital area of a turkey through its chest, why would you use that in personal defense to penetrate the vital area of a human being? Or to possibly get through clothes, a heavy jacket, so on and so forth? Why would you do that? Now, these here, I've used these on grouse. That's probably the thing I've hunted more of than anything else in my life, maybe the exception of squirrels, is the rough grouse. And I've shot them with 20 gauges, 12 gauges, and 16 gauges, anywhere from number 6 shot to number 8 shot. And Most times if I'm aiming for anything, usually aim for, again, head and neck. I have hit them in the chest before, and I usually find them, most of the pellets are stuck in the crop. Now what the crop is, on a grouse, is where the food goes before it gets processed and then into the gullet. Okay, the crop is maybe about that thick, and it's usually filled with beech nuts, pine boughs, the little buds off pines, watercress if they can get it, but nothing really that hard. I have found most times that the pellets stop right there. If they do go into the chest and hit the vitals of a grouse, I rarely see them going all the way through that bird. I usually have to pick them out of the bird. Think about that. A grouse is about the size of a chicken, a little bigger. Okay? And they are about that thick, a couple inches, 3-4 inches, from the front of their chest to the back of their back. Now, if the pellets are not going to go through that, why would you use that for personal defense? Because they're not going to penetrate the vitals of a person. You're talking maybe 3 to 4 inches. Okay? That's not going in that far. Yeah, there's hundreds of those pellets getting there. And yeah, most likely he's going to stop. But why would you take the chance that he's not? Why would you take the chance if he's wearing a thicker coat that he might not? Again, this comes back to that age-old argument of, well, you use birdshot because it doesn't overpenetrate, and if somebody in your family is behind the guy on the other room, then you don't want to shoot them. Well, that goes back to basic firearm safety. Know your target and what is beyond it. Do you really think in a situation you would ask yourself this question seriously? Would you shoot knowing a family member of yours is in the possible line of fire, and that shot, any of those shot pellets could go through that wall and into the person of your family? Would you really do that? No. I don't think anybody would. That's just stupid to think you would even take that type of shot. I mean, it's just, that's stupid mentality. You wouldn't do such a thing. Now, again, this goes to the thing that I've seen birdshot go through drywall. Okay? It's just, and especially it's going to be just as deadly at close range and a tight pattern through that drywall. Okay? It's not going to be as when it comes to penetration. So again, this is that myth of birdshot versus buckshot. There are not enough pros to using birdshot. Now, okay, again, well, gee, there's lots of these things flying them. Right, okay. These have no real weight to them. There's no mass. Yeah, it's got a lot of friends, and then you might get lucky and get to vitals, but that's luck. These have mass. There's weight here. Those 32 ounce and 32 caliber, 33 caliber double-aught buck pellets have mass to them. There's weight to them. There is none to here. Okay? This is for hunting. This is for killing small animals. If these did such a wonderful job, why would law enforcement? Does law enforcement use these? Absolutely not. Does the military use these? Not for personal defense. Breaching loads, maybe. But again, and another thing that I heard was, again, the same argument when it comes to birdshot. Well, if I shoot you in the face, you're going to stop. Why would you aim for the smallest target? The head is the smallest target of the human body. Why would you aim for that? Now again, yeah, they're most likely going to stop. You shoot them in the face, but that's the same. Okay, I could do it with 22. I could do it with, a pellet rifle. You're probably going to stop. Does it make them any better for personal defense than it does to birdshot? Okay? This is the mentality that some people seem to have, that birdshot is superior to buckshot when it comes to personal defense. It is not. It doesn't have the mass, it doesn't have the penetration, and it doesn't have the reliability that people put their faith into when it comes to personal defense. If you're worried about shooting someone behind the bad guy in the wall behind them, then you don't take the shot. Okay? It's one of those decisions, and of course, any situation you can't entirely plan for. But if you even suspect that your wife and kids are standing behind the wall, behind the guy in front of you, would you really, in the back of your mind, or even in the consciously, would you take that shot? Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. If you did, you're an idiot, or you're just stupid. But this is the mentality that some people seem to have when it comes to birdshot. Now, I've seen enough I've seen birdshot wounds. I've seen people who've been shot by shotgun shells. A good example of this is the guy that the Vice President Dick Cheney shot. He shot the guy at 10 yards in the face. Is the guy dead? No. So there's an answer right there. Now, granted, that's not every answer. Did the guy probably know you shot in the face and stop doing it? I guarantee he did. That doesn't make it a defense round just because somebody's been shot in the face with it. It doesn't make it a defense round just because you can plant a whole bunch of these little pellets into somebody's body. That doesn't make it a defense round. Birdshot is for birds and small game. Buckshot, double-aught buckshot, is time-tested and proven to be a good and reliable personal defense round. It's been that way for a long time. Let's not cloud anything between the two. If you even have a thought in your mind about using birdshot, and you have this thought that birdshot won't penetrate drywall, then go out and get a piece of drywall and shoot it with your load, with whatever load you're going to use for your shotgun. If you want to try 6s, 4s, whatever, I would say, you know what, even try number 8s. Even your lightest skeet loads. And you will, especially at 5 or 10 yards. Remember what I said about personal defense. You know, you see guys shooting drywall at 25 yards. See, it won't go through it. You know, I guarantee you, inside of your house is not 25 yards away. Try that at 5 yards and see if that won't go through that drywall. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So with that being said, YouTube, this is just another one of those videos. And I'm trying to help people out when it comes to these myths of shotguns and personal defense. And just these myths in general. Don't be a range ninja. You know, don't be one of these guys that just doesn't know any better. A juice box hero, a keyboard warrior. You know, don't be one of those guys. Have some common sense. You know, if you're going to get a shotgun for defense, get the correct shotgun, the correct loads. You know, don't go out and grab a shotgun with a 30-inch barrel and pretend it's going to be a personal defense gun just because you've got the long barrel and it looks cool. So, with that being said, YouTube, have a good day, and hopefully I'm going to get to the range next week when it warms up some.